This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
Hey, I just Venmo'd you for rent.
Nice. Now I can instantly spend it whether I'm checking out online with Venmo or using a Venmo debit card.
Say more.
More exactly. Because the more you do with Venmo, the more you get. Like earning up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on a bundle of brands.
So, order more pizza.
The math demands it.
Get the Venmo debit card.
Venmo Stash bundle terms and exclusions apply. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms. Venmo checkout not available at all merchants. Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A.
This episode is brought to you by Starbucks.
That is fire.
Whoa, that's good.
This might be the drink of the summer.
Okay, I like this one too. I'm rocking with it, okay.
Try it for yourself. Starbucks Refreshers Concentrates are coming home. Find them in the coffee aisle and make it yours.
Welcome back to another episode of the Peak Performance Podcast. I am Brad Young, and today we are going into a world where 1/10 of a point separates a gold medal from going home empty-handed. We're talking about precision athletes, the gymnasts, the divers, the figure skaters, the archers, the fencers, and every other competitor whose sport demands that the body and the brain operate at an almost impossibly high level of accuracy. These athletes are not just strong, they are not just fast, they are precise. And that precision, it turns out, is something you can train. This episode is for every person who wants to sharpen their edge in sport, in work, in life. The role of body awareness in everything you do. Part 2. Let us bring this conversation closer to home. You may not be training for Olympic gymnastics or competitive archery, but the principles that precision athletes apply to develop body awareness, proprioception, and spatial sense are directly applicable to every person who wants to move better, perform better, and reduce their risk of injury in daily life and recreational sport. Most people go through life in a state of low body awareness. They sit in positions they are not aware of. They move through habitual patterns without noticing the tension, imbalance, or inefficiency in those patterns. They exercise without paying attention to how the movement feels, focusing instead on getting through the reps as fast as possible. This is the opposite of what precision athletes do, and it explains why most people plateau in their physical development long before they reach their potential. The simplest and most powerful thing you can do to begin developing precision athlete-level body awareness is to slow down. When you slow a movement down enough, you can feel things that disappear at full speed. You can feel where your weight is distributed. You can feel which muscles are working and which are not. You can feel the difference between a movement that is smooth and controlled and one that is compensating for a weakness somewhere. Slow practice is not beginner practice. It is expert practice. The gymnast at the highest level still drills elements slowly. The golf instructor still works on slow motion swing mechanics with elite players. Slowness reveals truth. Single leg balance work, for example, is one of the most effective and underused tools for developing proprioception in everyday athletes. Standing on one leg with your eyes closed forces your body to rely entirely on proprioceptive input to maintain balance, which challenges and develops those neural pathways in ways that normal training does not. Progress to standing on an unstable surface. Progress to performing movements while balancing on one leg. These simple interventions, practiced consistently, produce measurable improvements in balance, coordination, and movement precision that carry over into sport and life. Breathing as a precision tool. Every precision athlete in every discipline has a relationship with their breath that goes far beyond what most people ever develop. Breathing is the most direct lever we have over our nervous system, and precision athletes use it as a tool for controlling their physiological and psychological state with extraordinary intentionality. In shooting sports, archery, biathlon, rifle shooting, the breath is actually built into the technique. Olympic archers time their release to occur in the natural pause between exhaling and inhaling, the moment when the body is most still. Competitive shooters do the same thing. The breath is not just a physiological necessity, it is part of the precision movement sequence. Getting the breathing wrong means the shot happens when the body's moving, and a moving body means a missed target. The precision of the breath directly determines the precision of the shot. In gymnastics and diving, breathing is used differently, as a tool for managing arousal and anchoring attention before a performance. You will see gymnasts taking deliberate, slow breaths at the end of the runway before they begin. You will see divers standing motionless on the platform with their eyes closed, breathing slowly. This is not a dramatic pause for the crowd's benefit. It is a neurological reset, using the breath to lower heart rate, calm the sympathetic nervous system, and create the internal conditions for precise performance. The mechanism is well understood physiologically. Slow, deep, controlled breathing, specifically extending the exhale, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the branch of the autonomic nervous system responsible for rest, recovery, and calm functioning. By deliberately lengthening the exhale, an athlete can reduce their heart rate and cortisol levels within just a few breaths. This gives them a remarkable degree of control over their own physiology at moments when the stakes are highest. For you, the takeaway is simple but profound. Before any moment where precision matters, whether that is a difficult conversation, a creative task, a physical performance, or a high-stakes decision, take 2 minutes to breathe slowly with a longer exhale than inhale. 4 counts in, 6 counts out. Repeat 8 to 10 times. You're not just relaxing, you are engineering your nervous system into a state where precision is possible. Shooting sports. The shot is released in the natural pause between exhale and inhale, the stillest moment in the body's respiratory cycle. Breath timing is technique. Gymnastics and diving. Slow, deliberate pre-performance breathing resets the nervous system, lowers heart rate, and creates the internal calm required for precise execution of complex skills. Your application. 4 counts in, 6 counts out, 10 repetitions. Use this before any moment requiring precision. You are engineering your nervous system, not just breathing. Acrobatic sports, when spatial awareness meets courage. There's a category of precision sport that requires a unique combination of spatial awareness, physical skill, and what can only be described as a particular kind of courage. Freestyle skiers and aerials and moguls, half-pipe snowboarders, pole vaulters, and cliff divers operate at the intersection of precision and risk in a way that adds an entirely different psychological dimension to the demands of their sport. The half-pipe snowboarder launches out of the pipe with enough speed to reach heights of 23 feet above the lip of the half-pipe. Up there, spinning, flipping, grabbing, twisting, they need to perform a precise sequence of movements and then re-enter the pipe in exactly the right position and angle to carry speed into the next feature. Get the re-entry wrong, and they crash. Get it right, and the next hit is even bigger. The precision here is spatial. Where am I? Where is the pipe? What is my rotation? But it is also temporal. They must read the exact moment to spot the landing and commit to it. Hesitate, and the moment passes. Commit too early, and they have not completed the rotation. The precision of timing in these sports is measured in hundredths of a second. Pole vaulters face a different but equally demanding precision challenge. The vault is essentially a chain of precision events that must occur in the right sequence with the right timing for a successful clearance. The run-up must be consistent. The plant foot must hit the same spot every time. The plant of the pole must happen at the correct angle with the correct grip. The takeoff must occur with the body in the right position relative to the pole. The inversion, where the athlete goes upside down, must be timed to use the pole's energy. The turn and push-off over the bar must occur at exactly the right moment. If any single link in that chain is imprecise, the vault fails. Each element is a precision skill in itself. Combined, they form one of the most technically complex single actions in all of track and field. What these acrobatic precision athletes share, beyond their physical capabilities, is a highly developed ability to be comfortable with controlled disorientation. They have trained themselves not just to tolerate the experience of being upside down or spinning or high above the ground, but to function precisely while in that state. They have mapped the disorientation so thoroughly through repetition that it no longer registers as threatening. Their nervous system interprets the sensation not as danger but as information and uses that information to guide precise movement. That is an extraordinary human achievement. What precision athletes eat and how they recover. Precision performance does not happen in isolation. The brain and nervous system that must function at such high levels are biological systems, and they are profoundly affected by nutrition, sleep, and recovery. World-class precision athletes understand this, and they approach nutrition and recovery with the same methodical intentionality they bring to their technical training. The brain accounts for roughly 2% of body weight, but uses approximately 20% of the body's energy at rest. During high-intensity cognitive and physical performance, the brain's energy demands increase substantially. For precision athletes who are training their brains as hard as their bodies, consistent fueling is not optional. Glucose, derived from complex carbohydrates, is the brain's primary fuel. Athletes who allow their blood sugar to drop before precision training or competition report degraded focus, slower reaction times, and reduced motor control. Consistent quality fueling is a precision performance tool. Sleep is perhaps the single most important recovery variable for precision athletes. During deep sleep, the brain consolidates the motor learning that occurred during the day's training. The neural pathways built in practice are strengthened and organized during sleep. An athlete who trains hard but sleeps poorly is essentially throwing away a significant portion of the day's learning. Research with basketball players found that extending sleep to 10 hours per night dramatically improved shooting accuracy and reaction time. Similar effects have been documented in other sports. For precision athletes, sleep is not downtime. It is training time for the brain. Hydration is another often overlooked precision variable. Even mild dehydration, as little as 1 to 2% of body weight, has been shown to impair cognitive function, reduce reaction time, and degrade fine motor control. For a sport where margins are measured in millimeters and milliseconds, the cognitive cost of mild dehydration is meaningful. Elite precision athletes monitor their hydration with the same attention they give to their technical preparation. Finally, stress management and mental recovery are critical for precision athletes in a way that is sometimes underappreciated even within high-performance sport. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which impairs the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain most responsible for the precise, deliberate processing that precision sports demand. Practices that lower chronic stress, adequate rest, mindfulness, time in nature, meaningful social connection, are not luxuries for precision athletes. They are performance investments. Building your own precision skills. Practical exercises. This is the part of the episode I am most excited about because everything we have discussed about proprioception, spatial awareness, attentional control, deliberate practice, and pre-performance preparation translates into concrete practical tools that you can begin using immediately. You do not need to be an Olympic athlete to train like one. You just need to know what to work on and how to approach it. Single leg balance training. Stand on one leg for 30 to 60 seconds with your eyes closed. Progress to performing this on a folded towel or balance pad. Do this daily. You will develop proprioceptive sensitivity that carries over to every physical activity you do. Slow motion practice. Take any physical skill you want to improve and practice it at 20 to 30% of full speed. Notice every sensation. Where is your weight? Which muscles are working? What does a perfect repetition feel like versus an imperfect one? Slowness is the precision athlete's secret tool. Visual focus drills. Practice deliberately directing and sustaining your focus on a specific small target. A single letter on a page, a dot on a wall. Hold your focus there for 2 full minutes without letting your attention wander. This is attentional control training. It transfers to everything. Mental rehearsal sessions. Sit quietly and vividly rehearse a physical or performance skill you want to improve. Make it as detailed as possible. Feel the sensations, hear the sounds, experience the emotions. Do this for 10 minutes before sleep or before training. You are adding neural repetitions without physical load. Design a pre-performance routine. Identify a performance moment in your life, a workout, a presentation, a creative session. Design a repeatable 2 to 3 minute sequence of actions and thoughts that will signal your brain to enter performance mode. Practice it consistently until it becomes automatic. Controlled breathing practice. Practice the 4-count inhale, 6-count exhale pattern for 2 minutes before any moment requiring precision. Use it before workouts, before meetings, before any task where you need your best. This is a direct nervous system intervention, not just relaxation. The beauty of these tools is that they do not require special equipment, a coaching staff, or hours of additional time. They require intention and consistency. A precision athlete becomes precise through the accumulation of thousands of intentional repetitions over time. You can begin that process today in whatever domain you care about performing in. The psychology of high standards. One of the most interesting psychological aspects of precision sport is how it shapes an athlete's relationship with standards. In sports where perfection is the benchmark, athletes develop a particular kind of mental architecture, one that simultaneously holds an uncompromising commitment to excellence and the emotional resilience to continue performing after inevitable imperfections. These two things might seem contradictory. They are not. They are complementary, and learning to hold them together is one of the great psychological challenges of precision sport. The demand for perfection in precision sport can, if not handled correctly, produce athletes who are paralyzed by the fear of mistakes. This is one of the most common mental performance issues in gymnastics, diving, and figure skating. Sports where a single fall or a single missed element can cost a medal. An athlete who is afraid of mistakes will hold back slightly in competition. Not quite committing fully to the difficult element, not quite going for the maximum score because the fear of failing is greater than the desire to succeed. The result is a performance that is technically safe but athletically limited. The great precision athletes have found a different relationship with mistakes. They are what sports psychologists call mistake-tolerant perfectionists. They care deeply about excellence. They train and prepare as if perfection is the goal. But in the moment of performance, they release the outcome and commit fully to the process. And a missed landing does not define them. It is information. They acknowledge it, process it briefly, file it away for the next training session, and return their attention to the present moment and the next element. This ability to reset quickly after a mistake, to not let one error cascade into several, is a defining characteristic of the best precision athletes in the world. This psychological pattern is as valuable in everyday life as it is in sport. The person who sets high standards but is crushed by imperfection will eventually lower their standards to avoid the pain of falling short. The person who sets high standards and develops resilience in the face of imperfection will continue to reach for excellence without the self-punishment that destroys motivation. Precision athletes model this balance at its most extreme, and we all have something to learn from it. The long game, how precision is built over years. I want to address something that might feel uncomfortable if you are the kind of person who wants results quickly. Building genuine precision, the kind that holds under pressure in competition, in the moments that matter most, takes years, not weeks, not months, years. The neural pathways that support elite precision performance are built slowly through thousands of hours of quality repetition. There is no shortcut, and any system or method that promises otherwise is either misrepresenting what it delivers or defining precision at a much lower level than what we are discussing in this episode. The good news is that progress toward precision is measurable and consistent if you do the work correctly. Gymnasts begin developing their fundamental body awareness and basic skill set years before they compete at a high level. They build the foundation, the basic shapes, the fundamental positions, the core strength and flexibility, and only then begin adding complexity and difficulty. The foundation is everything. An elite gymnast performing the most difficult elements in the sport does so on a foundation of 10,000 hours of simpler work. The advanced work is only possible because of the foundational work that preceded it. The same principle applies in every precision discipline. Golfers who want to shoot low scores need to first build a fundamentally sound swing that they can repeat under pressure. That process takes years, not seasons. Competitive shooters who want to compete at the highest levels need to develop a technique that is so ingrained it is essentially automatic, a process that requires years of deliberate practice. Even in team sport precision roles, the quarterback or pitcher who becomes truly elite does so through years of accumulated experience and deliberate skill development that builds on itself progressively. What this means practically is that the best time to start training your precision skills is today, and the second best time was yesterday. Every intentional repetition you make, every balance drill, every slow practice session, every mental rehearsal, every pre-performance routine is an investment in a foundation that will compound over time. You will not see dramatic results in a week. You will see them over months and years. This is the nature of real skill development, and embracing this timeline rather than resisting it is itself a peak performance mindset. Foundation phase. Body awareness, basic movement patterns, fundamental skill development. Building the raw material of precision. Skill integration. Combining fundamental elements into more complex sequences. Beginning to experience the sensation of true precision in controlled conditions. Pressure testing. Deliberately introducing pressure and distraction and variability into practice. Testing whether precision holds when conditions are not ideal. Automatic mastery. Precision skills operate without conscious oversight. The athlete can focus on strategy, artistry, and adaptation rather than technique management. And the mindset of the precision athlete. We have covered the physical, the neurological, the psychological, and the practical aspects of precision performance. Before we close out this episode, I want to talk about mindset, because underlying all of the specific skills and practices we have discussed is a particular way of seeing yourself and your capabilities that makes all of the other work possible. Precision athletes at the highest level share a fundamental belief that their performance is improvable, that no matter where they are today, consistent intentional work will move them closer to where they want to be. This belief, of which researchers call a growth mindset, is not naive optimism. It is grounded in the athlete's lived experience of how the body and brain adapt to intelligent training. They have felt themselves improve. They have felt skills that once required conscious effort become automatic. They have experienced the compound return on deliberate practice, and that experience has given them a deep, evidence-based belief in the process. Precision athletes are also almost universally deeply process-focused. They are interested in outcomes. And of course, they want to win. Of course, they want high scores. But their day-to-day attention and energy is directed toward the process that produces those outcomes. The archer is not thinking about whether she will make the Olympic team. She's thinking about whether her elbow is in the right position and whether her breathing is controlled. The golfer is not thinking about the final score. He's thinking about the specific target for this shot and the specific feeling he wants in his swing. This process focus is not a denial of ambition. It is the most direct path to achieving that ambition. Finally, the best precision athletes are relentlessly curious about themselves. They want to know why certain performances were better than others. They want to understand what was different on the days when everything clicked. They study video of their own performances with genuine interest rather than self-criticism. They seek feedback eagerly rather than defensively. They treat every training session as a source of information and every competition as a learning experience. This curiosity keeps them growing long after less curious athletes have stopped improving. Precision is not the absence of mistakes. It is the presence of a process so refined, so deeply embedded, that the body and brain operate together as a single coherent system, consistently, automatically, and beautifully, even when the stakes are at their highest. That is what precision athletes teach us. That is what peak performance looks like at its finest. Episode takeaways. What you are going to do differently starting now. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground in this episode, and I want to bring it all back to something concrete and actionable, because knowing this information is interesting. Applying it is transformative. Here's your Precision Performance Playbook from episode 108 of the Peak Performance Podcast. Train your proprioception daily. 5 minutes of single leg balance work with eyes closed every day. progress to unstable surfaces as the skill develops. This is the most underused precision training tool available to everyday athletes, and the return on investment is extraordinary. Practice deliberately, not just consistently. Identify the specific gap in your performance, the thing that, if improved, would move you forward the most, and make that the focus of your next practice session. Quantity of repetitions matters far less than quality of attention during those repetitions. Use mental rehearsal as a training tool. 10 minutes of vivid, detailed mental rehearsal before sleep or before training. Feel the sensations. Experience the precision. You are building neural pathways every time you do this, and those pathways support better physical performance when the real moment arrives. Design and commit to a pre-performance routine. Identify your performance moments and build a simple, repeatable routine that prepares you for them. Practice it until it becomes automatic. Then trust it when the pressure is on. Use breath to engineer your state. 4 counts in, 6 counts out, 10 repetitions before any moment that requires your precision. You are controlling your nervous system. You are choosing your state. This is one of the most powerful tools a precision athlete or any peak performer has available. Adopt the mistake-tolerant perfectionist mindset. Hold high standards for your performance while developing resilience in the face of imperfection. Mistakes are information, not indictments. Acknowledge them, learn from them, and return your attention to the next moment. This is the psychological pattern of every great precision athlete who has ever competed. That is episode 108, part 2 of the Peak Performance Podcast. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this episode has given you a new appreciation for the incredible athletes who have made precision their life's work, and a clear set of tools to bring more precision into your own performance. The gymnasts, the divers, the archers, the fencers, the quarterbacks, they are showing us what the human body and brain are capable of when they are trained with intention, patience, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. That is the standard, and it is available to all of us. I'm Brad Young, and I will see you in the next episode.